Welcome to Managing Asia. I'm Christine Tan. As the world economy faces uncertainty, some worry about the business of bling and whether people can continue to buy affordable luxury. Today we meet a player who's tuned into this segment, Stein. It was a marriage of skills and expertise. The husband and wife team who started a brand new company from scratch 13 years ago.
I actually met my wife in America, and my wife was already in the watch business before, and because my expertise and knowledge was in marketing and hers in watchmaking, so we thought, okay, why not create a watch company together?
Were there any hesitations?
Hesitations to work with your wife, yes, but apart from that, no, we believe that we could really accomplish something together.
The result was Stein, a young watch startup with huge ambition. You and your wife, Rena, launched the company in 2002, 13 years ago.
That's right. What
made you get into the very competitive, crowded, affordable luxury watch segment?
Yes.
What were you thinking?
It was very crowded, but in order to stand out from the crowd, you have to have a unique selling point, a USP. And so at that time, in 2003, health and well-being was just on the rise in America.
Speaking to me in Singapore, Stein explains the technology embedded in the watch that claims to tune in to the Earth's natural frequencies and benefits to promote well-being.
At that time, a group of people came to us and they introduced us to a technology, and they said, this technology helps your overall well-being. And since Rena and I, we always led a pretty good and healthy lifestyle, we said, what about if we can be the first well-being accessory disguised in a beautiful watch? That's why we entered into that market.
But how did you know it could actually work?
That's a great question. We are, of course, not doctors. We don't know anything about technology. So we tried it on ourselves. We put it into our watches, the technology. And what happened is, after about 3 weeks, I said to my wife, Rena, I said, you know what, it's a nice marketing gag, and I'm sure we can market it, but it doesn't really work. And she said, how can you say it doesn't work? Because you haven't been complaining about your neck pain and your headaches. And then I realized that I was probably not sensitive enough to my own body. And my wife said that she felt more relaxed in stressful situations. So that was, for us, evidence enough to say, you know what, let's get into this.
So you tested on yourselves first?
We tested on ourselves, and we also gave it to other friends. We said, here, test the watch and see what happens. And we got testimonials and feedback from them that was similar to ours.
Stein's masterstroke that shot sales to galactic proportions was by pulling in superstars.
Whether I'm on stage or whether I'm taking care of my family, and now I get to be a coach.
Today, the company sells over 70,000 watches a year. Its biggest markets include the US and the Philippines. Today, your timepieces have gained quite a celebrity following from the likes of Oprah Winfrey to Madonna to Victoria Beckham, even Rupert Murdoch, as a relatively young brand.
Right.
How hard did you have to work to get that celebrity endorsement?
Well, in fact, when we started, we asked some friends, and we said, one of our friends is in the music business, and I asked him, who do you know in the music business? So he knew the personal assistant of Madonna, and we sent a watch to Madonna through her personal assistant and asked her if she liked the watch, and apparently she liked it. And then Madonna went onto the Oprah show. She was on the Oprah show 3 weeks later, and she gave Oprah, as a thank you, a Philip Stein watch. And what happened is, we were a very small office. At that time, we had only 3 people.
So it was all Madonna's idea?
It was all Madonna.
Everyone knows the huge sales effect when it comes to having a product on Oprah Winfrey show. How big was the impact? I mean, did you see a big sales jump as a result of being on Oprah Winfrey? Can you quantify the impact for us?
Oprah put us on the map in America, and it was so crazy that people didn't even remember anymore our brand name. They would stand in front of Neiman Marcus counter in lines, and they would say, we want the Oprah watch, we want the Oprah watch. It was so big that people just wanted to have the Oprah watch.
What was the sales jump like? Give me a percentage.
From 0 to immediately 5 million.
5 million. You were rich instantly, overnight, completely.
It's not rich. It's the beginning.
It was big encouragement, though.
It was a huge encouragement. It showed us that we were onto something good. It showed us that this watch could be tremendous, and that it could stand next to Swiss watches, and that it could stand in any counter, and it could even have its own stores one day, which we have today.
You might have a loyal celebrity following, but you've also had your fair share of skeptics. In 2011, apparently an unhappy customer filed a class action lawsuit against you, accusing the company of falsely claiming that your watches make wearers less susceptible to stress. What was the outcome? How did you deal with that?
Okay, first of all, we never made any claims. We don't make any medical claims. We don't say that we are a medical device. We're a lifestyle accessory which helps people with their overall well-being and hopefully to cope with stress better. Of course, there are always people who try to push the envelope, and this lady...
Did she get anywhere?
She went to Nordstrom, where you can actually return a product even after a year. And she just bought the watch. 2 days later, she went to a lawyer and said, I don't feel the benefits that the company is claiming. So it was really something which happens in America, unfortunately, all the time. And what happened is it got dismissed, and nothing happened. They couldn't put a class action lawsuit together, and thank God nothing happened.
How exactly did you deal with the negative publicity that came out of that class action lawsuit?
It actually didn't happen so much, the negative publicity. It wasn't in the open. It wasn't in the public. But you always
didn't go that far.
No, it didn't go that far. But you always have doubters. You always have skeptics. So we try not to focus on the doubters and the skeptics. We try to focus on those people who send us testimonials on a daily basis, how well they feel with the watch, and how much it has improved their life and their quality of life. And because of these testimonials, we then went in 2009 and we started to do clinical studies.
Are you now more careful in the way you market, in the way you word your marketing when it comes to the product? Were there some lessons learned along the way?
I think we have always been very careful. We always had the verbiage checked by our attorneys. But yeah, absolutely. I mean,
in other words, don't overpromise, right?
No, we never really overpromised. We never overpromised.
It's been 13 years since you and your wife launched a company. What's it like growing the brand during the global financial crisis? I understand you had to lower your prices as a result.
Yes, of course. I mean, during 2008, when the financial crisis happened, we had to lower not the prices of the existing watches, but we brought additional collections out which also had the same technology as our other watches, but they were a little bit lower priced. We came out also with bracelets, which didn't have any watch movement, so we could price it even lower. And especially for people who don't wear watches, and in today's world you don't really need a watch anymore because everybody has a cell phone. So we wanted to also have that market of people who want to have the benefit of the technology but without having a watch.
So it opened up a whole new market for you as a result.
Yeah, absolutely. And also the way we dealt with all of this is we don't believe in bigger is better. In fact, we believe in less is more. And you can see that in our stores. Our stores are small stores, anywhere from 200 square feet to 400 square feet. And but the importance is that they're in good locations, they're in high traffic locations. And with that strategy in mind, you can cope with the challenges and still build a strong business.
The global economic climate is still pretty uncertain. How are sales holding up?
Sales are not only holding up, they're increasing.
How do you expect to do this year?
I think we're going to have this year a 20% increase. And that is because in the beginning when we started, people would buy the watch because Oprah wore it or because of the design, because of the interchangeable bands. Now this has shifted. People see more and more the benefits of our technology. So it's not anymore only a watch which they wear, it's the well-being accessory.
You say 20% increase for this year. I know you're a private company. Do you have any numbers you can give us in terms of revenue targets?
Well, I can give you the increase in watches. So, for example, we sell about 70,000 watches a year. So I think we will end up with about 85 to 90,000
watches.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of revenue?
I don't really want to discuss that. I mean, of course, I can tell you the revenue is if you think about an average price point of $600 to $800. So
So do the math. But you expect to continue to be highly profitable?
Yes, absolutely. We've been profitable from the first year on.
What are your profit margins like?
They're also, I would say, the normal profit margins of a company. In fact, probably less than the Swiss watch brands, the established watch brands. But we can make a good living.
40%?
No. Less.
Stay with us. Up next, we ask co-founder Will Stein how he's tackling the threat coming from smart watches. Managing Asia will be right back.